Good, good. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev.
We have people joining. People are just kind of filtering in, but it's a very exciting day for me personally to be able to have this time with you and share you with so many.
It's
So
been
a
many
good,
years. It's
yeah,
been many
years
years.
and
Yeah, I visited you in Columbus.
yeah, it's in 2003. So 2003 is
That
when
long,
we first met. And
that long
think how
ago.
many years later now we're sitting and we're able to connect live like this. So good evening to you.
To
Good
you.
morning and good afternoon and good evening, depending on where you
It's
all
good
are
morning
coming
to
from.
you, right?
So, but anyway, thank you for staying up a little bit later and talking to us.
Not at all.
And I just thought it would be so with now the time is such where it would be really nice to hear your words and your voice on so many things that are happening. A lot of people have sent in questions, and then just to get your perspective on the things that are happening. Maybe we can start with that. I know many of you are not new to who Sangeeta Jani ji is. For me, I lovingly say Didi. And, but I feel you are timeless. You radiate just love, light, wisdom in everything you do, and grace. You're just a personification of that for me
Thank
and many,
you.
many, many.
But you know
I
how
see
I
lots of
feel.
hearts coming up. So a lot of people are agreeing.
It's just a reflection of what's going on inside of you. It's just
Uh,
a beauty in you that sees a beauty in me.
so, you've been meditating for now over 28 years, correct?
Yeah,
And
20.
teaching for probably what, maybe 25 years-ish or 20 plus.
So 28 years. I became a
Yeah.
teacher within the first month of having met Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankarji. Immediately,
Mhm.
I saw him and I met him. And when I did the course, it transformed my life. And then when I recognized that I had an opportunity uh, to be imparting and making a difference in other people's lives, it was a no-brainer. The whole world dropped, and then I just started teaching right there and then.
Wow. So I want to hear a little bit more about that journey. So I'm going to be asking you some questions around that. But one thing I wanted to just ask first is with the times that we're in now, there's just so much uncertainty. And I teach a lot personally on the campuses here in the United States. And so in different universities, I get a lot of questions, especially now there's so many different ways to align yourself to take action and to really be able to have that clarity, even those, whether they're meditating or not. Do you have any words on that? Like the best way to keep, maintain your clarity of mind and stay in action?
You know, when there is clarity in mind, then action is always proper. And that clarity of
Mhm.
mind usually comes through meditation. I don't think there is any other way. And it's the easiest way. More than anything, it's the easiest way. It's just 10, 20 minutes of sitting with your eyes closed and just going into that quiet space. It centers you so much, it gives you so much clarity. And there's a tendency for people to just go with the flow. When there's a mood in that's happening around you in society, you take it upon yourself and you go with that as a flow, rather than
Mm.
being centered and seeing it for what it really is. You don't really have much of a chance to uh, look at it from your perspective. You're just looking at it from the world's perspective. So when you meditate, then it centers you so much that you see it differently, from how,
Mm.
and not necessarily the way everyone else is seeing it.
Yeah.
you know so meditation definitely makes and it gives you clarity on action. See what happens
That's
often.
beautiful.
What we see around us is just anger. It's just something. It's a way for people to express their anger. You don't want to do that. You want to make a difference just by expressing your anger and burning things down, and that you're not really making a difference. You're not making things better. You're
Mm,
increasing, you're widening the gap. So when you're more centered, it gives you maturity of vision. And that maturity of vision helps you bridge the gap, and it helps you bring about the change you wish to see, rather than
mm.
create increase the gap.
Right. That makes sense. So then, for those that are still trying to figure out their life's purpose, and 28 years back, you said in 1 month you started teaching. So then, how did you know? How did you know that, yes, this is what I want to do? In the prime years of your life, where you could be, I know there'd be probably a lot of focus around finding a life partner and societal, like you just go get married, have a career, all those different things. How did you know?
And 28 years ago, that was a must to get married
Yeah.
and have children. No, no, but it was just the heart just knows, uh, when it knows, it just knows. There is no doubt. For me, there was no doubt. The whole world could have been on one side telling me what I was doing was wrong. But in my heart, it was clear that this is it. It was my calling. It was my life. I mean, there's no real way for me to verbally explain,
Mm,
what I was feeling, but it was complete clarity at that time for me. Yeah.
wow.
There was
So
never
then,
a
and because I
well,
feel you're timeless. For me and many, that's what I always hear when people ask, like, Chimes, what's your beauty secrets and all these things, like skin, hair. I always hear people asking you this, just because I know, and some people ask me, I'll ask you here. What is if you had one or two things that you would say that keep you timeless, what are those things?
if you look at me, I remember very long back, when I was still young and I was teaching. And then, I suddenly there would be these people, these men who would feel attracted to me. And I was like a little thrown aback. And then that's when Gurudev Shri Ravi Shankarji told me, he says, they're not attracted to your looks. What they're attracted to is a presence.
Hmm.
You know, it's some, our presence speaks so much louder than our words or the way we look. And that timelessness is the nature of the self. The self is timeless. The body ages, but the self, itself is what? Self is energy. Energy has always been here and will always be here. So that is the nature of the self. It's ever young. It's ever new. It's fresh in every moment. You know?
So then how did you handle that when people would start falling in love with you, seeing you as how did you handle that skillfully?
So that was initially. That was just right in the beginning. But as time progressed, my the consciousness changed, and as I felt more complete in myself, I wasn't putting out that energy of I'm looking for someone to complete me. I wasn't putting out that
Mm,
signal. And when you don't put out that signal, you see, people only respond to what's going on in your mind. If you want to know what your state of mind is, you just see how people are responding to you. So you know
mm,
what's going on in your mind. So when in your mind you're complete, you feel fulfilled, it sort of shows outside. So it's not that people are not attracted, but they don't see me as a woman. They're not attracted from that perspective. They just,
mm,
there's some amount of respect. There is an attraction, but it's a different kind of attraction. See, when someone feels complete in themselves, and they're not really needy, they're not looking for someone else to make them feel complete, uh, they become very attractive. Neediness is something that is not very attractive. Every human being is looking for someone else to make them complete. So if you're putting out that
mm,
vibe that I am looking at you to make me complete, then the other person's not interested because that person's looking at you to make him complete. Do you see that?
mm.
Two
Yeah.
incomplete people cannot complete each other.
And then this can
Yes,
happen.
right. So then that attraction is gone. But and
Mm,
why is it that when you're complete and centered and you're fulfilled, that you become attractive? Because everyone is looking for that in themselves. And when they see it in you, they want that. And that is what they're attracted to. Actually, what they're attracted to is that which they're seeking in themselves. They're not attracted to you as a person,
mm,
but that completeness which they're seeking in themselves is what they're attracted to in you.
mm.
You know, so then it's not in terms. It's not so much. Um, that relationship doesn't have a name.
Yeah. So then do you think then there is such a thing as soulmates?
I think you are your biggest soulmate. Everyone is so looking for a soulmate. Everyone's looking for someone else. When they say, I'm looking for my soulmate, what they're really looking for is exactly what I told you. It's for someone who will make them feel complete, who will make them feel happy, who will make them feel, what is happiness? Everyone.
Mm,
Why do you want a relationship? Why do you want someone else? Because you think that person's going to make you happy. And
yeah.
everyone is seeking happiness. So when you say soulmate, what are you saying? You're saying, when am I going to find that person who's going to make me happy? But
Mm,
when is the happiness? Okay, say whenever, just think of any time in your life you've been happy. Just any time, like whether you had ice cream or whether you just went for a walk, whenever you felt happy, was that happiness in the object? Was it in the walking? Was it in the scenery? Was it in the ice cream? Where was the happiness? Was it in the object or is it in yourself? Where do you
mm,
feel the happiness? You don't feel the happiness outside of yourself. You feel that happiness within you. It means you are the source of happiness. You are happiness. So when you're looking outside, you're not going to find it.
right. Yeah.
You're looking
Mm,
at someone to make you complete. You're looking at someone to give you everything that you already have within you. You're the source of
mm,
joy, the source of love. You're the source of happiness. Even when there is someone else, when you have someone in your life, where do you feel the love? You feel the love in yourself,
mm,
not in that person. You don't even know how that person is feeling at that time. But you feel the love, you feel the joy, you feel the expansion, you feel the happiness.
mm.
And when you
Do you think,
recognize that, sorry, when you
yeah,
recognize that, then you stop seeking it outside of yourself. You look for it within you.
right.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, that's what I was just actually about to say because um I also get this that sometimes when people are um, in relationships with someone else and committed relationships, whether married or not, but somehow after some time, then that excitement isn't there. And so if they get attention from others, then they start to that thrill or the thrill of the chase, something happens. So then it's it is then you somehow start chasing it wherever you get that attention outside. And that's why I was resonating with what you're saying, because many times like, should I, Nina, should I change partners, should I do this, what should I do? And I get that question a lot. And I'm hearing
How
what you're
long,
saying, but maybe you can say more.
how long are you going to keep changing partners? Excitement is only there for a little while. So if you're looking for excitement, then better you don't commit. No? So excitement is different and love is different. You know, in excitement also, after a while, when you feel that there's excitement with that person, you're so into that person, you start smothering that person. And then that's,
Mm,
the problem begins. When
yeah.
there's maturity in a relationship, then okay, so the excitement is there and you understand that excitement is going to go, it's going to die in a while, you know.
Mm,
Um, you know that excitement is going to die in a while, and then there are other things to a relationship beyond excitement. You know, say you're in a
Mm.
relationship with your parents or with a sibling. You're not constantly looking for excitement there, but you still have a mature
Right.
relationship. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. Somebody's asking, sometimes there's a struggle how to be established completely in it. I don't know if they're saying relationship wise or if there's an internal struggle. Hmm, I'm not sure about
So
that question, but
you know, if it is about a relationship, I will tell you something. Um, you know, instead of focusing too much on each other, find a common goal. This is something. See, I'm not someone who can give so much advice on relationships, but because my relationship is with myself. But if you if you're in a relationship, this is something I have told many people, and it has worked beautifully. They've come back telling me that they've had you know uh, success in their relationship after that. One is when you're just constantly looking at each other, and you're so into each other. Like I said, you suffocate each other. Better you have a common goal. When you have a common goal and you walk side by side with each other rather than towards each other, you can attain so much more. You know, then the respect for each other grows, the love for each other grows. You can be useful in each other's evolution, you know, and you can work towards that common goal. There's something you're holding hands and you're walking towards.
mm. So then how do you manage, or how did you save yourself from getting entangled? Uh, it's such a beautiful journey, but also it's not for the faint at heart many times, to stay so committed to this path of the self. So what was your experiences with this, or if not, maybe getting too entangled or entangling others, or and in this process still being true to yourself and your purpose?
You know, at some point, you stop looking for. This was my experience when I talk about, you know, when we look at others to make us complete. It's my experience is I felt so full in myself. I didn't feel a need for another person. At the same time, the love in me grew so much, you know, that I didn't really feel the need to limit it to one person. You know, the love in me,
Mm,
just it was just there for the whole world. You know, I and that and there's something in me that expanded, something in me that grew, that had the capacity to love and care for the world like it was my family.
mm.
And I wasn't really seeking anything that anyone else could give me. And I was very happy. I was very full in myself, very complete, very happy. I was
Mm,
overflowing. I wanted to give.
yeah, I
Yep.
can relate to that. I can relate to that, but somehow I ended up getting married and having a kid.
So, and you're happy
But
now.
I
Thank
also
God you
think
did.
that's also have, yeah, exactly. That's why there's no right or wrong, but I resonate with it's all from within. Whether it's if that fulfilled contentment, then it doesn't matter actually what the outside role is, because it just happens. You just keep moving.
Right.
Uh,
So that's
somebody
another thing. Sorry. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, somebody was asking a question, but if you have a thought, go ahead and share. I want you
No,
to share if
so
there's a thought coming.
what I was saying is it was not a conscious decision. It's not that I said, okay, now I'm not going to marry. I'm not getting into it. It was never a conscious decision. It's just something that didn't happen. It didn't happen. I didn't have the need for it and it didn't happen and I was okay with it. You know, I just continued.
Mm,
One day went into the next, into the third, and I was really busy doing things and, you know, I didn't have the need for it and it didn't happen. And so I just moved on.
wow.
But there's no,
Wow.
it's not like it was not a decision. It's not like I have an aversion to it or I for it or against it. None of that. It just didn't happen. That's it.
Nice.
And it's not
So
like
then
it never
some,
happened. It's just that, after a point, you had no need for it.
right,
Yeah.
right, exactly. Because you felt complete. So
I felt
somebody somebody is asking Didi that why do we have that tendency to get so possessive rather than giving your partner space to flourish?
possessiveness comes because you hook your happiness to that person, and then you're afraid of losing that happiness. So you think the reason for your happiness is that person, and you do not want to let go of your happiness. So you don't want to let go of that person. But
Mm,
in reality, when you don't smother that person with your possessiveness, there's a better chance of holding on to that relationship, and having it mature and grow to a better place.
yeah.
When you
Something.
understand, when you understand this, and you're not that possessive about people.
So if somebody was saying the intent, like what would the intent be? If you were going to move in life, whether in any relationship, what would be the intention to create behind it? Whether it's, um,
You
what would you
don't get
say?
into relationships with an intention. You don't plan relationships. Relationships, let them just happen organically. Let them just happen. Be natural, be free. And
Mm,
when you meet people, just meet people, connect to people from the heart. That's it. Be yourself. Be authentic. Be true to yourself. You don't have to plan relationships. You don't have to have intentions behind relationships. A relationship is just a relationship. When there are two people, you see, anyone you come into contact with, you have in that moment formed a relationship with that person, right? And how far it goes depends. Let it just happen organically. If it goes further,
mm,
it goes further. When you come from a space of giving in a relationship, then the chance of success is so much more. When you think in a relationship, when you think, okay, I am here for you, what can I do to make you happy? What can I do to make your life better? Then that is a true relationship. That is true love. That is true caring for the other person. As long as
mm,
you're looking at the other person, thinking, what is it that person can give me? How much value can that person add to my life? You're always going to be insecure. You're always going to be possessive. You're always
mm,
going to be planning, manipulating, doubting, all those things that we have all experienced through relationships. All that will happen. But if you come from a space of what can I do to make you happy, there is so much freedom, and there's so much upliftment, and the other person feels it. That just
mm.
that sense of what can I do to make you happy, that is nourishment for a relationship. I feel that
Wow. Yeah.
way.
We're seeing a lot of hearts bubble up when we're saying that. So someone saying when I have so much love bubbling up inside, um, any advice, the best way to express this love?
Go into meditation.
Mm,
Love, it's not necessary to keep expressing your love all the time. That wears the love out. That makes the other person tired. It puts pressure on the other person. The other person feels, oh my God, feels obligated to respond, to return that, reciprocate that. It's not necessary you have to keep expressing that love. Your love is expressed just in your presence. When you feel so much love, you radiate that love. Your presence changes. You become a magnet. You just attract
mm,
people because everyone is attracted to love. Love is your true nature. You are made up of love, and so is everyone else. And when they see that in you, they feel attracted to you. So just be that love. You don't have to draw hearts on walls. Just be that love. You don't really have to go around announcing it or doing anything
mm.
for that matter. Just be it, and it will find its expression automatically in things like service. When I say service, I don't mean take on a project, but just being there to help people, because that love just makes you do that. Love just makes you want to give, you know. So when that love is coupled with maturity, then you will give it in the right place, in the right way, in the correct manner, where it is needed, where it is required. So there is a difference.
Right.
When maturity of love, what do? There's someone who needs to cross the street. You will hold their hand and take them across the street. You will offer to take them. When that is not so mature and you really want to just express yourself, what do? That person doesn't want to cross the street and you force them, no, 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 let me take you across the street.
Mm.
You want to help the person, but that person doesn't need it at that time. So that is the difference.
Got it. So there's one, maybe we'll just take one more question and well, a couple more questions, but one you may have already answered. I'll just speak it out though, because someone's asking, is it okay to seek out a relationship when you're in these times where you're feeling lonely or you're in a space of isolation?
Exactly what I'm saying. This is the time you use to get to know yourself. You know, you can use this time and energy to get to know someone else, or you can use this time and energy to get to know yourself. Seeking
Mm.
someone, there's nothing wrong with having a partner. There's nothing wrong with having company. There's nothing wrong with being in a relationship. But if you say that in a time like this, when you're feeling lonely, if you think someone else is going to fill in that gap and fulfill what you're seeking for, it's not going to happen. Use this time to find yourself. Get to know yourself. See how beautiful you are. See how precious you are. And then when you get to that place, when you feel that, it doesn't take long. It can take a few moments, just a few seconds. When you recognize that in yourself, then you don't have to go looking for a relationship. You become a magnet. This has been my
Wow.
experience, because you're not looking, like, how can I get this? How can I get that? How can I get happiness? How can I get love? Who will give it to me? No. You will come from a space of, I'm feeling so happy, so full, so content, so much love. Let me give it to someone. Let me share it with someone. Then you become attracted.
Hmm. I like that. You become a magnet. Okay, time has went by so fast. I feel like I could just sit here and listen to you all day long.
We
So,
will do this another
um,
time.
yeah, we might have to, because there's a lot of people that have been in and out and still hanging on, listening. So that's great. A lot of good comments coming through. One thing I'll ask maybe to kind of close this together is this weekend, for some of you that are familiar, it's Guru Purnima. And if you're not familiar, maybe Didi, you can explain a little bit and tell us a story about what's your relationship with your teacher, your guru, Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. Um, any, how would you, if there are words even to describe it, you know,
So
what
you're
would you
right.
say?
There are no words to describe this relationship. It is the same as the relationship you have with yourself, and that is how he describes it also. And you feel it. When with a master, you don't need to use words. You don't need to tell him things. You don't need to talk. You don't. He knows it. He feels it. He knows. He knows you. There was once a time when I had taken a relative to meet him, and this lady says, "Oh, Guruji, this is the first time we're meeting. Let me tell you a little about myself." And he says, "What? What do you want to know about yourself? Ask me." That's a master. Master is someone who knows you better than you know yourself, right? Otherwise, what is the point in having a master? What is he going to teach you if he doesn't know you? So that is the kind of relationship I have with him, where
Mm.
words are not necessary. They're there. It's not like they're not there, but they're not necessary. There's a bonding at a much deeper level. which is beyond words, beyond any kind of expression. And Guru Purnima, which is on Sunday, the 5th, this is one day in a year, it's a full moon night. And this full moon night is dedicated to all the enlightened masters who've ever been on this planet, of the past, present, future, who are yet to come. And this is basically a day where, you know, a practitioner, a sadhak, a practitioner, a meditator, um, someone who, a seeker on the spiritual path. This is a day you kind of just sit back and you evaluate your growth. You look at where you were a year ago, or when you began the journey, and where you are today. And it just gives you an opportunity to express your gratitude and feel the gratitude within. You don't even have to really express it through words, but just feeling it. Gratitude brings abundance. So when you are in a state of gratitude, everything just comes to you, and it's a very beautiful day, a very important day for a practitioner. And everyone looks forward to it. Guru Purnima, it's a very special day, especially if you have a master in the body, then it is extremely special, because you look forward to spending that day with him in his presence, even for a few moments. And this year, because of the lockdown, we're not going to get to be with him in person physically, but he's going to be there. He's going to, Zoom has connected the whole world. So he's going to Zoom. Yeah, so so we will still, sorry, excuse me. Yeah. So we will
We'll still be able to be together. So, which is great. I mean, one thing with technology during these times has really been able to have us be connected like this and have these kind of sessions happen. Uh, Thank you so much, Didi, for taking the time to talk to us. I feel like there's a lot of people, and I think over the course of time, it might have been 100 plus people, and then now there's still 75, 80, like coming in and out. But that's awesome. And we should definitely, we'll want to have you back. And when we're able to travel, please come visit us.
definitely, I'd love to. America's my home. I was born there.
I know. I don't know if everyone knows that. Did you guys know that Sangeeta Didi was born in the US? Where? Where in the US were you born?
Seattle. In
Seattle.
Seattle. Yeah.
So all of you guys from Seattle, you didn't even know. There's an angel amongst us.
Look at those hearts go up.
Yeah, Lara.
Thank you
Okay, but
so much. It was lovely talking to you. And
Jager, Dave, love you so
everyone.
much.
Were you saying
And
something?
we'll
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying just looking forward to more sessions. I don't know if everyone knows that Didi is actually more active now on social media. So at Sangeeta Jani, that's her handle. So if you're seeing this and you didn't know, then definitely also follow Didi and see all the amazing videos she has, even on YouTube. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, take
Yeah, I'm
care.
so new to
And
social media.
but you're awesome at it. Doesn't seem like you're new. Okay, lots of love to everybody. We're seeing all these hearts, and
All
then
of
take
you.
care, Didi. Have a good night, and thank you for staying up late for us.
Thank you, Jai Gurudev.